Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome here to East Texas today on KTK Plus. Now, I don't want anybody mad at me. I know I was a minute late, but it is all for a good reason. I was throwing in some more information that you all need to hear about this morning. I hope you all are having a great Monday morning. And so we're going to go ahead and kick things off because we have a jam-packed show this morning. So starting off, we're going to talk about the several Texas lawmakers that left the state on Sunday to block today's vote on a redrawn congressional map designed to add 5 Republican seats in the U.S. House of Representatives. Now, at least 51 Democratic state representatives chose to leave Texas on Sunday, and some of those lawmakers said they've gone to New York and others went to Illinois, and the governors of those states have stated their support for the action. Now, we do have a reporter out of our state capital, Dylan McKim, who's going to tell you all a little bit more information about that, so I'm going to go ahead and play that now.
The Texas House is scheduled to meet at 3 o'clock today, and to conduct business, they will need to have 100 members present. That's what a quorum is in the Texas House. We do know that 51 Texas Democrats have fled the state in an effort to block a vote on a new congressional map that would likely give Republicans 5 additional seats ahead of the 2026 midterms. Speaker of the House, Dustin Burrows, went to social media to say that the House will use all options on the table to bring those Democrats back to Austin so that business can continue. Some of the penalties that these lawmakers face is a $500 fine per lawmaker per day that they are not here. They also could be on the hook for any retrieval costs of sending Texas DPS to go locate them, find them, arrest them even, and bring them back here to Austin. And they also could face expulsion. Some Republican lawmakers have argued that the Governor Greg Abbott has the constitutional authority to vacate their seats, remove them from their elected positions. But for right now, this puts a pause on the Texas special session, not only the redistricting effort, but also the 17 other items that were placed on the special session agenda, chief among them the flood disaster relief and emergency preparedness response to those Central Texas floods, those Independence Day floods that killed over 100 people. All of that is put on hold right now as those 51 Texas Democrats remain in Illinois. Just one of them would have to come back to Austin for business to continue. Reporting here in Austin, I'm Dylan McKim.
And there is that full piece of information from Dylan McKim there in Austin, Texas. Now, I do want to read an article from our sister station, which gives us a little bit more background and information on what is happening at our state capitol as of right now. Now, this reads, Texas Governor Greg Abbott released a letter Sunday night in which he said that he would seek to remove the Democrats from their elected offices in the Texas House of Representatives if they fail to return by Monday afternoon. He says, quote, real Texans do not run from a fight, but that's exactly what most of the Texas House Democrats just did. Rather than doing their job and voting on urgent legislation affecting the lives of all Texans, they have fled Texas to deprive the House of the quorum necessary to meet and conduct business, end quote. Now, in that letter, Abbott cites an opinion written by Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Such opinions do not carry the weight of law, but do signal a willingness of the AG's office to prosecute. This says, quote, the Attorney General concluded that through a quo pronto action, a district court may determine that a legislator has forfeited his or her office due to abandonment and can remove the legislator from office, thereby creating a vacancy. Now, that empowers me to swiftly fill vacancies under Article 3, Section 13 of the Texas Constitution, end quote. Now, the section of the state's constitution requires the governor to call for an election within 20 days of a vacancy. And it says, quote, Democrats hatched a deliberate plan not to show up for work for the specific purpose of abdicating the duties of their office and thwarting the chamber's business. And that is a quote from Abbott. The Democrat House members were elected to meet and vote on legislation, not to prevent votes that may not go their way. Now, Abbott has also suggested that he would seek felony charges against Democrats, claiming that some, quote, may have violated bribery laws, end quote. He said, quote, I will use my full extradition authority to demand the return of Texas return to Texas of any potential out-of-state felons, end quote. And that was from Governor Abbott. Now, like I said, there is more information on this on our page, KETK.com, as well as on our sister station's page located in Austin, Texas, which is KXAN. And if you all go to KETK.com, we do have some articles that are linked within our articles that will take you to KXAN's site if you're wanting to learn more information. But that is just an update on that. Now, another thing that's in play and at hand with this is the Central Texas flooding victims and the impact that was seen from that. And you all, today is August 4th. It has now been a month since those devastating floods struck Central Texas. And I mean, they were absolutely horrific to see. And I want to go ahead into an update on that. So I have another video that shares a lot of information on the update from where we were in July to where we are now in August, just a month later. So let me go ahead and play that for you all.
Almost a month to the day from the Independence Day floods. There's still so many first responders here, not just in Kerrville, but in Kerr County and throughout the Hill Country. And now lawmakers are listening to exactly what the people still need after this long month.
Those of us impacted by this catastrophe are not asking for handouts. We're asking for a functioning government.
Kylie Nediver lives in one of the only 5 homes in Bumblebee Hills untouched by the floods and says her community has been left behind by the state of Texas.
We need knowledgeable officials, debris removal, housing support, and mental health care.
Her neighbor in Bumblebee Hills wasn't as lucky.
My husband opened the door and the river raged and ran through the front and the back door and took all of our belongings with it.
Rosa Toller says she now has black mold issues from the flood, as her goddaughter accused first responders of not showing up to the ravaged Bumblebee Hills the first weekend.
Because they were not involved in the missing, they were forced to sit there and watch mold go up their walls.
And while residents like Toller will need long-term physical health assistance, almost everyone involved in the floods will likely need some form of mental health assistance after what they experienced.
Based off of the information from someone who testified earlier, I can without a doubt say that we recovered some of her family members.
And while lawmakers are still trying to figure out exactly what happened,
Bumblebee Hills has I don't want to say forgotten, I don't mean it that way, but has been left out of where a lot of work is being done right now, so we're trying to find answers for that.
They're looking towards the remainder of special session to see what they can do next.
Now the work begins. Let's get our bills drafted and try to get them over the finish line in the next 2 weeks.
The 30-day special session is set to expire on August 20th. In Kerrville, Adam Schwager, Fox 51 News.
Well, you all, that was the entire updated information that we have on that. But I do want to go ahead and let you all in on the ways that East Texans have been providing help to families that were impacted in Central Texas. And I mean, there is an entire article on our website, KTK.com, that just showcases the ways in which East Texans were giving back and ways that you can still give back. And I want to highlight one that happened this past weekend on August 2nd. It's Longview Wow. They dedicated their entire day to supporting families affected by the floods in Central Texas. Now, like I said, there have been several places around the state that have been doing things to give back and things to help. And Longview Wow said it's never too late. So on the 2nd, on Saturday, I was going to say yesterday, on the 2nd, they said, let's do this again and let's try and help those affected by the flood. Now, when I said they dedicated their entire day to supporting families affected by the floods in Central Texas, they partnered with the Hunt Preservation Society Flood Recovery Fund to ensure every dollar raised goes directly to families and communities working to rebuild, and all admission revenue from that day was donated. They matched the all admissions and any additional donations received on site at Longview Wow. And they just said it's a great day to visit the museum and give back. Bring your kids, invite your friends, and let's turn play into purpose, which I am sure that they did. Now, what I do want to say is, yes, that was happening on Saturday, but that does not mean that you can not still donate. They have a website which has a link to a fundraiser which is still active now. So if you all are still looking to donate, you can visit their website and you'll be able to donate through that link. Although, your admission prices or admission to go into the Longview Wow isn't, going to go towards them anymore, but they still have a way to donate. Now, another place that donated and made sure that victims of the floods were getting what they needed was Brookshire's. And I want to say this is awesome. They raised $100,000 for the Texas flood relief. And let me go ahead and pull this up for you. So Brookshire Grocery Company and its customers have raised $100,000 to support communities affected by the recent floods in Central Texas, which claimed the lives of more than 100 people. In July, customers and employee partners at Brookshire, Super One Foods, Spring Market, and Fresh by Brookshire stores in Texas contributed to the flood relief campaign by purchasing donation coupons at checkout. And this says, quote, "Our thoughts and prayers remain with those who were affected by this devastating natural disaster. It was important to our company to step up and help our Texas neighbors during this critical time. We are proud to be able to donate $100,000 to the victims and their families and hope it makes a meaningful difference to those affected." And that is a quote from Brad Brookshire, the chairman and CEO of Brookshire Grocery Company. Now, the funds raised will benefit the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund and TechStar, Texas Search and Rescue, both of which provide aid to those impacted by the floods. Like I said, there are a lot of ways to give back, and that is just one that has been happening, but there are absolutely several more ways. Now, my last story before we take a quick break, I want to let you all know of a missing dog that is really special to the Palestine Police Department because it's one of their K9 units. And I do have a picture. Let me grab that picture for you really quick. Here it is. So Palestine Police is searching for missing K9 officer after Sunday storm. The Palestine Police Department is searching for a K9 officer who escaped from his enclosure. And according to the Palestine PD, their police K9 Hondo managed to escape from his handler's enclosure in the Fort Houston Addition area of Palestine. Officials said Hondo is a German Shepherd and microchipped. And if anyone sees him, they are asked to call Palestine PD at 903-729-2254. Again, that's 903-729-2254. So let's help get this officer home and make sure that he's able to continue his duties. You all, if you see him, make sure that you take him to the vet. The vet will be able to locate that microchip and let you all return him to his rightful owner and to the police department. But that wraps up our first section of our show this morning. Now, I do want to let you all know we'll have Brayton CO right after this break, and then I'll also be able this morning to sit down with the Nacogdoches superintendent, and he's new in his role. So we will sit down with Gray Burton, and he'll talk all about what his plans are for this upcoming school year. So you all stick around for that after this break. good morning, everybody, and welcome back here to East Texas Today on KTK Plus. As you all can see, I am joined by our meteorologist, Braden Co. Good morning, Braden. Happy Monday. How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. It was gloomy outside. I pulled out of my driveway. I saw a lightning strike, which threw me off. Is it going to be raining today?
It looks like we have some storms around this morning, and then
Okay.
we'll get a bit of a breakthrough about the middle part of the day, and then by the afternoon, we could see just a chance for a couple more storms out there. So kind of on and off as we go through the day.
Interesting. I don't know why I just thought that the rain only lasted the weekend, and I woke up and saw that lightning, and I was like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
we may have some storms, but I'm sure that you can tell us a lot more about that, so I'll let
Yeah.
you take it away.
Absolutely. So here's a view here from atop the Plaza Tower, and we've got some sprinkles moving into the city right now, and a little bit heavier rainfall as you head farther off to the west. As far as those temperatures go right now, 73. Winds are calm. That dew point at about 68. So we're really looking at okay conditions right now. The rain has helped to keep us cool this morning. And as you can see there on the satellite and radar, that complex of storms moved all the way from Oklahoma down through the DFW area. Now it's getting ready to move into the Houston area. So it has traveled about 500 miles this morning since about roughly, I don't know, about 2 a.m. or so, whenever it really got going there in Oklahoma, and now all the way down there towards the Texas coast. And so we're going to continue to monitor that for the next couple of hours here in East Texas with some of those rain chances. Here's a look at what we're seeing right now with some light to moderate rain moving into the city of Tyler. Also down towards Jacksonville, especially Athens, Palestine, Crockett getting in on some of that rain. But as far as the bulk of that activity, that's now down towards College Station, Huntsville, and eventually down towards the Houston area this morning. So as far as those rain chances go, about a 30% coverage today. And that's really about it as far as those rain chances go for the foreseeable future. So we're going to be looking at mainly dry weather here for your Tuesday and forward. Now, can't say the same for Deep East Texas. They could be seeing some isolated activity tomorrow. But as far as today goes, we do expect some redevelopment of some showers and storms as we go through this afternoon. So we will be looking for that chance. And then things will quiet down as we go into the overnight, as we lose daytime heating. And as far as that rainfall percentage of normal that we've seen over the last 30 days, we've seen about up to 200% of normal, especially in some of those blue shaded areas. So really, we're doing pretty good as far as rainfall goes, not really expecting any drought development here over the next 7 days at least. And as we look here at our August rainfall totals so far, now the Tyler total will kind of throw you off a little bit, just simply because that is the measurement taken at the airport. And Tyler Pounds is located on the far northwest side of the city. And other areas of Tyler, because this is a large place. Tyler's a large city with a very large area involved. Places like South Tyler over into the eastern side of the city have seen a lot more rain than that. We're talking potentially over 1 inch to 2 inches in some portions of the city. So that measurement is not for all of Tyler by any means. And then also looking at some pretty good rain totals so far for the month in Longview and down into Lufkin. Here's a look at temperatures right now. Some rain-cooled air from Waco down into College Station. Meanwhile, out ahead of those storms, it's 84 as you head over into Houston. And we've seen some of that rain-cooled air here into East Texas. 70 in Palestine and Crockett, 69 in Athens and Terrell, 68 in Corsicana. Meanwhile, it's 80 as you head over into Lufkin this morning. So kind of the tail of two different stories there, where we have some of that rain cooled air and then also some of that heat out ahead of some of those storms. And looking at highs today in the lower 90s with feels like temperatures actually below 100 degrees. So believe it or not, we're not going to be seeing those extreme heat index values through the day today. It's still going to be hot, but not as hot as what we saw last week. Lows tonight fall into the 70s, and as we look here at what we're seeing over the next 7 days, as far as those high temperatures go, right around where we should be for this time of the year. So things are going to be pretty typical, pretty much on par with where we should be. So nothing crazy is expected. And then as far as what we're seeing out into the Gulf right now, as far as the tropics go, any tropical development. We're looking at just a couple of clouds out that way. That's really about it. No tropical development is expected. But if you look off into the far northeastern corner there, the far northeastern side, so top right of that screen, you can see a little spin. That is Tropical Storm Dexter to the northwest of Bermuda. And so that is going to be continuing here to move off to the northeast as we go through roughly the next couple of days or so, but no threats here to us in East Texas. So some great news there. And as we look here at that forecast for you today, 91 is that high temperature. A few showers and storms expected to redevelop. Then tonight will be partly cloudy with lows in the 70s. And we're looking at plenty of sunshine and really on par for average temperatures here as we go through the next 7 days into your weekend. And for Deep East Texas, we've got a couple of storms for you on Tuesday potentially, and then again for your weekend. But during the middle part of this week, we should see mostly dry conditions here across the area.
I'm going to say it. I'm not mad about the dry conditions. I actually like to see that. So we're celebrating. But Braden, me and you, before you walked in, I talked to you a little bit about I guess a record that we just broke here in East Texas, which is something that I've never heard of, a mega flash.
Yeah.
You can you tell me what is a mega flash?
So basically, it's just a lightning strike that extends for hundreds of miles through the clouds. They normally only happen whenever you have these large complexes of storms. So we're not talking about something like a little storm cell that we see here pop up during the summertime. We're not talking about something from that. It's those big, long complexes of storms that stretch across, multiple states. And that's whenever you can get those lightning flashes throughout the entire storm complex. So that sometimes can lead to hundreds of miles of one continuous lightning flash.
That is actually crazy for me to hear. I didn't know this existed. I actually have. Let me go ahead and pull this up. So this is our sweet dog that we were looking at. But here is that like graph, I guess you could say, of that lightning flash, which is kind of throwing me off. But it says that it was an extensive 515-mile long lightning flash.
Yeah.
And so it started near Athens. Well, no. Could be seen from southeast of Dallas, near Athens and Corsicana, across Arkansas, Oklahoma, Nebraska, into Missouri, and near Kansas City. That's huge. That's something that I don't think I've ever heard of. And this was recorded in 2017, right? This is some years ago, 8 years, but we're just now finding out that East Texas was a part of that. Am I right on that?
Well, we actually just discovered the flash in general.
Oh,
so
okay.
this is technology that the satellites have within them, but they've had to parse through the data and kind of find some of these events. And they just stumbled across this lightning flash because the previous record for the longest lightning flash was actually on the Texas coast.
Oh.
So both of these records have been close to home here. So apparently we just have something about our atmosphere here that gives us these really large lightning flashes.
That is interesting. I guess you can say that Texas is electric. Okay, I had to say that. But that was so corny. But no, that's insane to see things like this. I think that these are phenomenons that I wouldn't know would happen unless, we talk about it here. But I want to ask you about it. I felt like this was in your wheelhouse. It's super awesome to see things like this. Like I said, Texas is not new to breaking world records. And here we are breaking another one. Like I said, we lit up the sky literally for 515 miles. So yeah, congrats to Texas. But thank you so much for joining us this morning, Braden. After this break, we are going to be able to sit down with the Nacogdoches new superintendent, Gray Burton, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about his first year in the role and kind of what he has planned for this upcoming school year. So you all stick around for that after this break. K plus. Give me 1 second, you all. I just had my interview join my Zoom, so I'm gonna throw you all to a quick break. But when we get back, you all will be able to sit down with me and Gray Burton, the new Nacogdoches superintendent. So we'll have that in just a moment. So you all stick around right after this break. Well, good morning, everybody. I told you all it wouldn't be too long. I had somebody special waiting who just popped into the Zoom. This morning, I am joined by Gray Burton, which is the new Nacogdoches superintendent. Good morning, Gray. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Haley. How are you?
I am good. I'm so happy to have you here. I told you before we got on, I don't have too many hard questions for you. We just want to get to know a little bit about you since this is your first year in the role. So let's just go ahead and jump right in and, like I said, dive into this. So you're new this year to Nacogdoches, and tell us where you came from before now, and how did you end up in Nacogdoches?
Okay. Previously, before I took this position, I was in Rusk. I was superintendent at Rusk ISD for the past 7 years. Prior to that, I was actually the associate superintendent here in Nacogdoches. So I actually came back home. I've lived here for 32 years now. So I actually taught at the high school here at Nacogdoches for a while. My family's from here. My wife grew up here. So this is home. I just came back home from Rush for a while to get going here at my hometown.
That's awesome. I love that this is home. So I bet you that just is a great feeling to just be back at home and be around those that you grew up around. So, okay, you're about to start this new semester. I know that when I was starting my new school year, I don't know if you get these, but I got like first day jitters. Okay, so I was feeling a little
Absolutely.
off. Yeah. So, what are you looking forward to the most, and do you have those like jitters going into this?
Oh, absolutely, I do. A couple things you can always count on. You're going to have the jitters, and you got to go buy a brand new pair of shoes for the new school year. So I've done both of those things. I've got them. Yeah, I'm just excited to be back here, being a part of the district before. I know some of the areas that I want to focus on. I just hope that everyone can see the vision. I hope our kids are ready to go when they get here. But we're going to be excited. There's a lot of things. We're not going to change a lot, but I think we want to hone in. We have a lot of talent here at Nacogdoches ISD in our staff, in our kids, and I just want to be sure that we focus in a manner that displays that for everybody else. I know what a great district it is and can be, so we just want to be sure that we make that happen for everybody.
Absolutely. And I love that you already have that vision. So you're going in with the plan. You're a man with the plan right now. So I love
Absolutely.
love that you already have that vision in place. So you talked a little bit about wanting to hone in on some things. So what are you hoping to accomplish during your first year?
Well, I think overall it's a climate of learning. One thing, I will tell you, our mission, our vision is going to be that we are going to create opportunities for every student to be successful in life. So whatever that is, that their career goals take them, whether it's college or workforce or whatever, we just want to be sure that we are supporting those students academically and emotionally, socially, in every single way to be sure they are prepared when that time comes from across that stage. They don't have any doubts. A, that they are loved, B, that they are prepared and they are ready to go out to the world and make their mark and make a difference and make us proud.
That is so sweet. I love that. I mean, that's all that we can hope for as students is to have the tools we need in our tool bag to go out there and make sure that we're doing what we need to do. So, how are you hoping to see the district grow in the future? So, thinking beyond this first year, in your tenure,
Sure.
how are you hoping to see the district grow?
Well, I've said this, and it might offend some people, but I've told our staff and our board that there's no reason we can't be the flagship district in East Texas. With our relationship with SFA, all the community that we have, the support that we have is unbelievable. And so I just want us to grow, but also want us to be successful in everything that we're doing. I know that we're working really hard right now with our educational foundation as far as getting more CTE offerings for our kids, more things that our local companies need in their workforce. And we want to try to continue to push towards that to get our kids ready, not just to get out and get a job, but to get a job that can keep them in Nacogdoches. You know, as a parent, there's nothing we'd like more than for our kids to be able to stay home and have a career that's fulfilling to them, but at the same time, let them be around family. So it doesn't always happen, but if we can keep some from going to Dallas or Houston or San Antonio, then we want to keep them here in Nacogdoches if we can.
Absolutely. You're working on growing Nacogdoches itself and not just building people in Nac, but growing the actual space, which is awesome. So you
Absolutely.
came to Nacogdoches from Rusk, like you said in the beginning. What are the
Yes.
different, like, how do the schools different in size? What are we looking at that?
At Rusk, we had a little over 2,000 students, and here at Nacogdoches, we have almost 7,000 students. So it's three times, little bit over three times as big here.
That's huge. I came from a school where my it was like 800 of us. So that is actually
Sure.
that's huge. That's a to imagine that. Do you think you're going to approach it with I mean, like you're going to approach it differently. You have so many different students now. Do you have any approaches that you're going to change?
I don't think so. I think the important part for me is to be sure because you know it kind of comes in layers. You want to be sure that that layer right below me is getting our message out the way we need it to get out, and that we just hold people accountable. Yes, it's more people, but you're not going to find many different people. I mean, this is you had every possible kind of kid you could have in Rusk, and we've got every possible kid you could have in Nacogdoches. I think that we just got to focus on them specifically, but I guess it's the layers in between that we want to be sure that we have a clear message, that everybody's on board with that message, and that we keep following that message up. So, you know, the bottom line is we're going to care for our kids. We're going to take care of our kids. I want to take care of our staff. You know, I think that's something a lot of times that we miss. I'm still a teacher. I'm still a coach at heart. So I want to be sure that my folks that are working for us know that I care about them, that I'm here to prop them up, to help them to get their aspirations in their career as well. So it's not me. I'm not the boss. I'm a coworker, and I want to be sure that they're getting the support they need and know that they've got a champion in their corner as well because they're going to do that for our kids. So yeah, the size is a little different, but I think the approach is the same. We've just got to be a little more active in that approach.
For sure. That's an awesome thought process. Like you said, I really love the I'm a coworker. I'm the I'm the boss, but I'm a coworker and that's a team mindset in itself. I love that. So what did you learn during your time at Rusk that you will carry into your time here in Nacogdoches?
Well, I think that the Russ community, they really embrace and you know the district and they get involved. I think that we embrace our district here. I want us to invest more. There every time you turn around, it's what can I do to help at Russ? How do you want help? I want to be sure that I'm reaching out to everybody and saying, hey, there's a place for you to plug in to the district. You don't have to work here. You don't have to have kids here. But I want everybody to be proud of the district because we've got a lot of alumni, you know, in Nacogdoches that still live here. But Russ was a great place because that community really buys into the district, really loved on our kids, really supported us. So I want to try to emulate that same thing here in Nacogdoches.
Awesome. And I believe that you will. You sound confident in what you're doing, and I love it. So, if you could tell your students one thing, what is that one piece of advice that you would give them going into that first day of school?
that we're here to help them, that this is not going to be some kind of battle, that we're on their side, that we want the best for them. And if they have any doubt about that, please just slow down and talk to their teacher and ask them. I promise you this: we're going to take care of our kids. We're going to love on our kids, and they're going to know that we're there. We're their biggest advocate. I've made the statement before. I don't have kids in school anymore, but when I did, I want our teachers to treat each student like it's their child, because that's somebody's world. And so we want to be sure that we're treating those kids the same way that we would treat our own kids, because they are our kids. We have them for 8 hours a day, and we want to be sure that they know they're taken care of, that that we're being responsible, we're keeping them safe, but most of all that we're going to push them. Just like our own kids, that we want them to be successful, and that comes with some. Sometimes you got to say, well, listen, I want you. You're better than what you believe you are, and I want you to maximize your ability. And so we're going to do that.
Absolutely. It sounds like y'all are on a quest for success. Now, here's my last question for you. Same question that I asked you before, but what would you tell your teachers on that first day of school and your staff?
Right. I would say number one, don't give up. This is a very hard job. Dig in. I tell people at times it's not like mowing your yard. You mow your yard, you look back, you see a difference. Sometimes that investment takes several years before you really start to see. Some kids don't really appreciate it until afterwards. I have high school kids come to me that I taught, and they're grown now, and they say, well, thank you for this. They're making a difference. Never doubt you're making a difference in a child's life. You might not see it immediately, but you are making a difference. So approach every day with the mindset that I am making a difference in this child's life. I may not see it today, but it is happening. So I would say patience and just hang in there.
That is awesome advice. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else maybe that we didn't cover that you want the people to know about you or about your time here beginning in Nacogdoches?
Well, just know that I'm here for the long haul. I've told people before, this is not a stop for me. This is my last stop. So I want to
Okay.
be here as long as I need to be here. And I will say that our district theme this year is be legendary. That's kind of what we're going for. And legendary is not something that you do one time and then you're legendary. It is the little things every day done in an excellent way. And so that's what we're going to try to do this year. Start laying that groundwork to where every student, every staff member becomes legendary.
I love that. I'm going to take y'all's sentiment there and run with it too. And I'm going to try for today to be legendary and for the rest of my time here at KETK. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. You were awesome. Some great advice and some great things for Nacogdoches to look out for. I wish you the best of luck in your time in your first year and get those first day of school jitters out of the way for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Haley. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you all, that right there was Gray Burton, the new Nacogdoches superintendent. You all, after this quick break though, we'll go back into some first day of school things. He's getting his first day of school jitters out the way, but you all stick around after this break. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for continuing watching KETK Plus East Texas today here on KETK Plus, rather, is what I should say. You all, this morning has been jam-packed. Like I said, we had a lot of great information to give you all, as well as a live interview with the new superintendent, Gray Burton. Now, let me just say, he imparted some wise wisdom with on us this morning, and one thing that they are reminding their students is be legendary, and I think that that is something that we can take this Monday and run with. Remember to be legendary this week and to be legendary in the future. Now, I do want to go ahead and go back and jump back to some news that happened over the weekend, and this is in regards to a story that we have been following now for a minute since the falling of some bricks from the Carlton Hotel in downtown Tyler. Well, I have an image, or a video is rather what I should say, of this. So here that is. Now, a corner of the wall now. It's not just a couple bricks. As you can see, that entire corner is missing, and that fell, or several bricks fell, on July 24th, and those bricks falling prompted the closure of part of Elm Street, which was still closed to traffic when the corner fell earlier last week. Now, the building's owner, North Companies, put out a statement on Saturday ensuring the public that the safety is first priority and that they've hired a demolition subcontractor who will start work today. Now, public safety remains our top priority, is a quote from the development director at North Companies, Islay Stowe. I hope I said that right, and excuse me if I didn't, but we've been working diligently with our engineers and demolition teams to identify the safest and most effective plan for removal of the compromised south wall. Now, demolition of the south wall is expected to start within 48 hours, so we're nearing that 48-hour mark today, and work should take up to 2 weeks. North Company said they're working with the City of Tyler and the U.S. National Park Service to assess how feasible it would be to demolish the whole parking structure, which has a historic designation. And as you can see, this is the images, the video from that area of where that entire wall fell down. Luckily, nobody was hurt because that road was closed off and nobody was in that vicinity. But that is a sight to see, all of those bricks laying on the ground there if you were taking a look at your TV right now. Now, also, we're going to talk about something that's happening today, which is it's the first day of school for some schools around East Texas, which I don't know if that's a good thing. Some people are probably super sad to go back to school and having to wake up early in the morning, but there are probably some that are excited because that means the start of school sports. We know football season is around the corner, but I do want to go ahead and let you all know which schools and school districts are starting school today, and that's Avenger, Elkhart, Latexo, Leggett, Malta, New Boston, New Diana, New Summerfield, Onalaska, and Timpson. They are all returning to school today. It's their first day of school, so you all wish them a good first day of school. Good luck. Take that sentiment in to be legendary and to have a great school year. Each day is a day to be remembered and a day to be counted. Now, also, here are some school zone driving reminders from DPS. You all, last week on Friday, we had an entire back-to-school show, and we're just letting you all know of some safety tips, and DPS has now put out some of their safety tips, and here are a couple of them, and this is going to be, very pieced together because I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I do want you all to understand and know that it is very, very important to keep those children safe while they're outside or inside the school. So here it goes. So it says, give students extra room and don't assume they are paying attention to your vehicle. Students are often distracted by mobile devices, listening to electronic devices, or by other students, and they may not be paying attention to their surroundings. Don't block a crosswalk when stopped at a red light or a stop sign. Follow the directions of school crossing guards. Watch for children on bicycles traveling to and from school. Reduce your speed when you spot a school bus, and no children may unexpectedly step into the road without checking for oncoming traffic. Be careful around railroad crossings. School buses are legally required to stop at them. Know the laws regarding school buses. According to Texas law, if a bus has alternating flashing red signals visible from the front or rear, drivers must stop. That is a law. You have to stop before reaching the bus. Drivers or the bus has resumed driving. Approaching drivers do not have to stop for a school bus that is operating a visual signal if the road is separated by a physical barrier or an intervening space. If a highway is only divided by a left turn lane, it is not considered divided. and drivers must stop for school buses. Drivers who illegally pass a school bus face fines up to $1,250 for the first offense. For people convicted of the offense more than once, the law allows for the person's driver license to be suspended for up to 6 months. A ticket for this offense cannot be dismissed through defensive driving. Criminal charges are possible if a driver causes someone serious bodily injury. Always obey speed limits and traffic laws in school zones. And remember, texting while driving is illegal in Texas. So keep those in mind when you are heading out into those school zones. If you are in the area of one of those schools starting, and it's good to start practicing early because, you know, practice makes perfect. So even if school isn't in session right now where you're at, consider that area and think about it, and, you know, put that practice into play now so that it'll be perfection when school starts. But you all, that wraps up our morning. I hope you all had a great morning. I had a great morning sitting here speaking with you all. You all have to join me back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. for another show of East Texas Today here on KETK Plus. And as always, if you all are wanting more information, you can visit us at our website, KETK.com, which you can just do it by scanning that QR code on your screen there, and it'll take you directly to our website, where our digital team is working extremely hard to push out those articles for you, as well as our reporters and our anchors gathering the information and presenting it to you as well. And then also, let's just say you want to watch us again, you can view us on our primetime lineup, or you can have us on our late shows at 9 and 10. Well, you all, that wraps up my show this morning. I hope you all have a great and legendary week. This week, it is Monday, so make sure that you make this week worth it. I will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one.